Yes, sir. This is my life story 702. Man, this is Wack 100 and Adam 22 going at it, getting heated at the moment. Adam 22 is pressing Wack about switching the narrative all the time. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but if you speaking on Wally and Gilly saying that they looked at him in a certain way, he still was legendary in the streets when it came to being a gangster.
I don't give a fuck about that. Ain't what we talking about.
So that's
we not talking about no streets.
What was the thing? You said they got turned out by his book, but his book was only talking about street activities.
Yeah, but if we're talking about if we're talking about the overall of shit, I said, look, bro, I can't give him the overall because he never I transitioned. It's a fact. I did everything you want to talk about, we was doing. Now, for the last 20-some years, if I think you doing something wrong, you can't come around.
I feel like if we were to rewind the tape and go back to that Gillian Wallow episode, that the conversation you guys were having was about who was the biggest gangster, not who made the best transition. I think you're moving the goalpost now.
I'm going to be real. The terminology gangster don't come from the petty street shit. It come from the motherfuckers that was in these suit and ties really conducting business. Now, if they want to take the word and minimize it and water it down and say gangster mean a tattoo on your face, how many niggas you done shot and how much time you did, that's on you. To me, when you say gangster, I'm going off these Godfather movies and these movies I watch.
I'm thinking about King Von.
Nah, I'm not. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm just saying. I think that like everything you do after that is you leaving the streets. That's you not being a gangster anymore.
No.
So when you was coming up, you wanted to be like the mob.
No, when I was coming up, I understood to be a gangster mean to control business.
No, but people always try to do this bullshit. They always try to say, they always try to say, you know what's gangster? Gangster is taking care of your kids and having a nice house. That's a different thing.
No, it's not.
That is a different thing.
Not from where we come from.
Gangster can't just have no meaning.
Because our daddies didn't do it. Nigga, our daddies forced us.
You can say it's the new gangster, but that's just like you said, the transition from it. But when you was in the streets, nobody was growing up and thinking about the mob. We seen the movies,
bullshit.
But wasn't no mob out here for us.
No, what we was thinking about, and this is why me and my crew in the early 90s said, fuck the crack that get a nigga $5 for a $50 rock, and we transitioned to white collar criminals. And we was buying real estate and flipping, like my nigga, our whole perception of what that was to get to a point where we could own businesses, own real estate. So how could we get it? Well, we got profiles. Okay, well, niggas was doing this and doing that. And when we start figuring out we can buy that, flip that, sell that, refinance that, and bring it back real, then we knew we was on some gangster shit. Where did we get it from? Watching them Godfather. I studied Godfather. I still study it today.
It's a good movie.
This is real shit because guess what? His whole goal was to do what? Become legal. I took $4 million of music money, right?
So his doctor...
I took $4 million of music money and went and created a motherfucking diaper company. Why? Because in my mind, this is my way of getting the fuck away from all of it. Even the music, because the music still keep you in the lane of some possible stupidity. Just real shit.
So you saying if somebody was involved in the streets, but they ain't do as much as say a Monster Cody, but they transitioned and became a more successful businessman, you will rank they gangster over Monster Cody?
That's a fact. Because if you still doing it, if you ever read the book Visions for Black Men?
No, I ain't read that one.
Y'all check it out. It's a 110-page book by Naomi Akbar. This is the book that really made me check myself. Because if you would have told me what was in this book, I'd have got offended by it. It breaks down the transition from maleness, the boyhood, to manhood, right? Your genitals is your maleness. When you know right from wrong at the age of 4, 5, 6 or whatever, now you in boyhood. How many niggas you know that's 35 still sleeping in the same room and same bed that they slept in at 12? Nigga, you still practicing boy shit. So if you still practicing boy shit, right?
I think more people should live with their parents into adulthood.
Who come from the killing, the dope dealing, the drive-by shooting, the penitentiary, the yards, all the shit we done been through, and then transition, and now the nigga's a realtor, or now he got some gas stations, or now, nigga, yes, I'm gonna rate his gangster way more than the same nigga over here talking about, I just took a deal for 12 all day.
But that's a small exception of percentage of what you putting. Most of them niggas that came, especially from y'all era, is either dead, smoked out, in jail, and none of them niggas was teaching us, at least niggas in my era, of outside of crime and stuff like that. So to say everybody was transitioning and trying to be like the mob,
everybody was transitioning?
I know, but you saying like for not to respect Monster Cody when for him he was fucked up, like you said, to maybe that got to a point of I want to just say PTSD, doing all that jail time and everything else. It's hard for niggas to even come back from prison right now with all this technology and still transition.
Okay, you're proving my point.
But I'm not gonna look at him and say because you got more money that his gangster is.
It ain't about more money. It's about what you're doing. The small percentage, right? Said it's a small percentage, right?
Right.
How many motherfuckers you hear screaming, I'm gangster, 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 but yet they're not doing what that small percentage is doing? Them are the ones I'm gonna acknowledge. I'm not gonna acknowledge these niggas that all they take is a 38, tattoos on your face, bustle the nigga, get high, and nigga holler some shit out and go to jail. Everybody doing that. But that small percentage who then did that on that level, in a treacherous way, and was able to find a way with a GED, a no fucking high school diploma, right, to create businesses, create a legal lane to where now I could look at your kids and they falling in that lane. I'm gonna respect a gangster.
All right.
Gangster ain't to me putting in work.
I feel like we do this weird thing where we just use the word gangster to mean a lot of different things at the same time. Because, okay, if we were to go to the Jordan Downs right now and find some dude who hangs out there and he busts his gun and he sells drugs and whatever, he's a gangster. By the definition of what a gangster is, he's in a gang, he's doing gangster shit. Now, if that guy, okay, if that guy moved out,
I may call him a soldier.
Listen, you're talking over me because you know I'm right. If he moves out and he purchases a couple of different McDonald's franchises and he works at them and he manages them from day to day and he makes a great living for himself and he has a family, etc., that's gangster.
Yeah.
Based on what you're saying, that's gangster. I think you should use a different word because it seems to me that the original thing he was doing was the gangster thing.
That's 3 different places, 3 different states.
It's called being a successful businessman. Why call it gangster? That's a stupid use of the word gangster.
You want me to show you the George Washington Bridge?
No.
My cameras?
No, I don't care about that.
You want me to show you the resort in my backyard in California?
But why call that gangster when it's not illegal?
Because where we come from, right? At one point in time, I was taught putting in work, killing the enemy, doing some gangster shit.
And I agree. That is stupid. That's a waste of your life.
Then I realized the real gangsters, where the term come from, own shit, controlled shit. Everybody claiming they hood and niggas don't even own the real estate on their block. This is why they can come through and say, if you don't live in the projects, trespassing. We gonna tear this motherfucker down and we gonna gentrify it, right? The real gangster can say, you're not finna tear nothing down. I own this.
I'm just saying we shouldn't be using my personal goals. We shouldn't use the same word to describe a guy who's basically, committing horrible acts upon his own community with them becoming a successful businessman. If you use the same word to describe both things, then the word means nothing.
Listen, majority of people that come from that mob and that gangster shit, they grew up doing gangster shit. And then they created their organization with some structure and they start doing real business shit, right? You should know that.
They should pick up a different word.
How they gonna pick up a different word when they the ones created the word?
They didn't create it.
Now you're right.
You're talking about the Godfather.
Listen, the mob, they was here before us.
Right.
They was doing their shit before us.
Organized crime
So when we heard
forever.
gangster, right? If they're already saying it and we don't exist and we start adapting saying it, we can't say it came from us. But we just took it and said we're going to water it down, and being gangsters defined by these actions.
If Al Capone had opened a bunch of McDonald's and went and lived a clean life and didn't have to worry about the cops, there's no way that he would have been going around saying, hell yeah, I got 10 McDonald's. I'm gangster.
That's facts.
Want to know why? Because he's not a retard.
Wack is right by technicality, but Wallow and Gilly was talking strictly the parameters of gang banging.
They can't.
That's all they was talking about.
Neither one of them are gang bangers.
Right, but when they reading his book,
they were in
like everybody else out of state, They just read them gang banging. They not looking at
Why
it.
do Wallow do all that time?
Nigga, for robbers. Nigga, you ain't got to be in the street to rob a nigga. It's got to be broke, need some money.
So
and know
opening
a
up
nigga to
a
rob.
successful business and not breaking the law is gangster, but robbing people is not gangster.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is coming up, what we perceive that to be is not really what it was. When you ask yourself, the real gangsters of our world is the motherfucking government.
For sure.
Again, the word has no meaning if we're going to apply it to people who are working in
See,
government.
I don't think he's understanding.
No, because without you just saying, that's why I said like now, because we can say smart is the new gangster and shit like that.
It's always been that.
Yeah, it has, but it ain't. You wouldn't. Well, I can say I wasn't taught that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only difference. I do understand it now. Yes, you should.
You was taught that.
No, I wasn't.
Yes,
you should
you was.
outgrow that. No, I was not.
The shit you went through. Now, you sure you want to have this conversation?
We can have this conversation.
I'll tell you why you was taught that. You know who taught you that? Your actions, your turmoils, you going through what you went through, you taking them 7 steps from that table to that window, thinking about the shit you did to be in here for all these calendars, right? That taught you what the fuck not to do.
I said I wasn't taught.
No, you taught.
Life
you,
taught me.
Nigga, I taught myself some shit.
But
That's what I'm saying.
You like an older homie passing down the knowledge.
That's all
to
I'm
you.
saying.
Because
Yeah, you wouldn't give me that game.
That's my point. It's a very small percentage. Nigga, one of the most gangsters niggas in our cities. In this city right here.
Lush.
No.
Let's just did some gangster shit earlier too.
One of the most gangsters dudes
Y'all
in
got
this
less
city
crashing out of he tripping on shit.
on some real shit is Mike Conception.
Who's that?
And he in a wheelchair.
A lot of
Been in
good
a
gangsters
wheelchair.
are, yeah.
No, what I'm saying is if you understood the makeup of Mike Conception, where he come from, all the shit he done did, he lost his legs, all this shit, but what he continued to do. Niggas his own resorts out the country, right? I remember one day coming down Sepulveda Boulevard, and I'm like, damn, that's a big ass house. So I pulled in to get a card from the people building it. I'm like, who y'all building this house for? God damn it, it was Mike's house, right? So when I first get out the joint, I said, damn, boy, this nigga Mike on some gangster shit. I need to get here. Right? So even though my first home I brought, it was already built. My second one, I watched be built. My third one, I watched them build it. Because I was one of the goals of mine, right? I'm sorry. If some niggas think getting high and tattoos and doing time and killing your enemy is gangster, that's cool. I went through that era. With me, right? That nigga Birdman's a gangster. Straight up. That nigga got a 90-10 deal. He done sold over 1 billion records. He's still thugging. He talk his ebonics, but he's legal. He's a legal entity, and he done made a lot of other black people
Would
rich.
he still be considered a gangster if he didn't
right,
used
one
to
of the
run?
biggest gangsters.
But he used to run a heroin empire, and he got a ton of people killed.
He did what? He used to what?
Run a heroin empire.
And then he started running what?
Record
He
label.
took that money, started selling shit out the trunk, right? To a point to where it got them people's attention, and they came at him with some money. He turned it down till he took $40 million up front with an 80-20 deal, right? And never looked back, right? Now that's gangster.
It really seems like the gangster part was when he was running the heroin empire.
No, because the heroin empire is minimized.
Right. No, I agree. It's good that
The
he made it past that.
longevity and him being free and being successful is on that side.
I just think we need a different word.
No, ain't no different. You're a white boy. You can't change our motherfucking what we doing, what we saying. If we telling the youth what's gangster is owning your real estate. What's gangster is staying out of jail.
It seems like you have a hard time conceptualizing a world in which gangster doesn't mean the same thing as just good.
We got to
Like
change
to you,
it.
these are exactly the same words.
So
I was told killing a nigga was gangster.
Let me ask you
I
this.
did that. No, it's not.
It's not good, but it is gangster.
Nah, we got to change
So
it.
you
It's
trying to
something that
basically
people
say
in
you trying
gangs
to
do.
change the narrative is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's,
Nah,
that's exactly what he doing. He ain't finna go back on that. That's exactly what he's saying.
No, we got to teach them what it really is. You know what I'm saying? Because if we tell our people what's smart to do, they ain't gonna hear that. They're not gonna hear that, right? I remember
That seems
telling
like a problem.
I remember telling a
know
group
what
of
you're
little niggas when I pulled up. They like, Wack, man, listen, man, like, nigga, look out for us. I say, yo, who got that report card? Everyone go home, get that report card, bring it back. Boom. 2 of the little niggas came back. I looked out for them. The rest of them, I'm like, I ain't fucking with y'all. You ain't got a report card. You got all fails. Nigga, here go a couple hundred, here go a couple hundred. 6 months later, I came back. They was lined up. All of them had a report card.
How
If
long?
the big homie say it's cool to smoke sherm when you little, what niggas do?
Oh, that's gangster.
Right?
Nah, they
If the
did
big
that.
homie start telling the little homie, hey, it's cool to have a job. It's cool to do this. We got to change the narrative on what it is.
Yeah,
I
but you
can't
can't,
tell
you,
him.
you can't say it's cool to do that if you're not doing it. Then that's where the disconnect comes from. You out here running the streets, and I walk outside and see you doing that, but you telling me to go to get a job. Niggas is not paying attention to that.
Yeah, but that's why I don't run the streets.
It's another day. We back at it, man. You know, big Palo, big pellet. We back at it, man. It's my life story 702. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been showing love and support to the channel, man. It really mean a lot to me. And yeah, let's just keep it going, man. Keep it going. Keep the hard work going. Um, I just want to say I appreciate everybody that's been showing love to the channel. You know, I see I'm growing real slowly but surely. I see the channel is growing. And man, all I can say is thank you guys, man. It means a lot to me. If y'all don't know, I just want to let y'all know it really means a lot to me and my family that y'all showing love to the YouTube channel, man. It really, you know, I can't complain. So thank you guys, and I hope everybody having a blessed one, man. Much love. It's gonna be a long day for me again, you know. What I walk into. So guys, pray for me, man. It's another day. I hope everybody making sure they, you know, keeping a lot of water in their system. You know, summer is arriving. So I just want to let y'all know, man. It's about to be a hot summer. You know, another little pal that they got ducked off for me in the cut. You know, another little pal. Another little pal right here ducked up in the cut. Yeah, it's about to be a real one. But man, I just want to say, man, it's been a long journey. I've been consistent with this YouTube. Um, I see, man, consistency always beat, you know, procrastination. You know, consistency always beat procrastinating. So you gotta stay on it. You gotta stay grinding. You gotta stay going hard. Even though when times you might feel like it's slow, when times you might feel like, you know, you're not getting nowhere. When times you feel like that, you still got to keep going no matter what. Because one thing I notice is that when it comes to opportunities is gonna always knock on your door. God gonna always send an opportunity to you, and it's unexpected sometimes. Sometimes you might not be able to get a gig, but somebody else might be watching how you work and how you are and how you is, and you know, things like that, and might open a door for you. So that's what I learned, man. Always, always keep going hard. Always keep, you know, a wise man once told me, never get comfortable in any position you work, because comfortability don't push you. Once you get comfortable, you start being intent, you know. So yeah, I just want to say, man, hit that like button, subscribe button. Go show love to the second channel. It's My Life Story 7022, and we out, man. I appreciate all love and support. Yes, sir. I go by Money Man. Just got a new machine over there. Yeah, they stepping it up over here.